Hiya. I'm in the sala. For the uninitiated, that's a bamboo shed at the end of my garden by the lake. That's our house behind me, and that's the lake. Yeah, I'm very lucky. But I'm not doing a Lakewatch, which is where I normally talk about the lake and stuff that's going on. I'm going to talk about City. So I got up at 2:30 this morning to watch a 3 a.m. kick-off for me and watch my team give away 3-goal lead to draw 3-3, and I'm not going to talk about that. What I'm going to talk about is something I've noticed that this recent run of poor form has highlighted, and I think it needs talking about, and I've got 2 questions to ask about it. The first one I don't know the answer to, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't ask the question or that it doesn't need asking. So if any of you who do have fan channels or influencers want to ask these 2 questions, I think it'd be really useful. But I'll get to those at the end. There are generations within every fan base, including ours. Some of us are of a senior generation. I like that word, senior. Doesn't mean better though. It means old fellas like me. And then there are generations below us, obviously. What's happened recently has revealed quite a lot in the differences between us. And that's not a bad thing. A diversity of opinion and a diversity of the way that we look at the club is really important. And everyone is welcome. Okay, everyone, all of you. I see some disrespect headed at my generation particularly. This phrase, happy clappers. It's meant as an insult. Don't say it isn't. And it's taken as one. We notice it. But I'm not going to have a go back at the younger generations. I just got an observation for you. The generation below me have some sort of claims to have been there during the worst moments in our club's history when we were in the 3rd tier. But most of them were children, teenagers maybe. My generation of fans experienced that as fully grown adults. We understood it. We knew what was happening to us. We knew that we were staring into the abyss. We knew that we were facing bankruptcy, the annihilation of our club. And during that time, our closest, bitterest rivals had a banner up, counting down the years we were without trophies, and there was no hope. The difference between my generation and the generations below in age is that you've only seen the river. We swam in the sea, and that sea wasn't friendly and calm, wasn't the Pacific, It was a storm with big waves crashing down on your head, debris in the water, danger everywhere, things swimming in it that wanted to eat you alive, and see your club ended. People who revelled in it, people who enjoyed watching us in it, people who mocked us whilst we were there, clinging on for dear life to whatever bit of driftwood came by. There were false hopes, a ship on the horizon that might come and save us but didn't, just sailed away again. And we experienced it as adults, and that's different. And that's not worth nothing. And so when you see us not flapping, not being hyperbolically negative about the club, it's because we were there then, and we were there then as adults. And I don't demand respect for it, but I think there's an argument to be made for not disrespecting it. I think you need to take it into account when dealing with older blues who were there then. What are the questions, Trev? All right. I think there's 3 questions. On one side of paper, write down a list of everything you hate about United, Liverpool and Arsenal fans. Number 1 will be entitled. Number 2 would probably be they're terrible winners. And number 3 should be they're even worse losers. And number 4 will be they've got no sense of humour. And there's probably more. We could probably do, I don't know, top 10 and still have some to spare. The next question is, what defines us? Who are we? What is it to be a City fan? What are the characteristics? I would say our gallows sense of humour, and that sense of humour was created, invented and thrived because of my generation and perhaps the one below. On wet Wednesdays in towns you only pass through on the way to somewhere good normally, usually in Yorkshire or the Midlands, to go and watch your team hopefully get a point in the rain. And you sang all the way there on that special train that they used to have. It was brilliant. And you sang all the way back and you took the piss out of yourselves. So there's that gallows humour. It's always been part of who we are. The next thing is that we are magnanimous in defeat. If a team has come and give us a good game, we're usually the first to say, well played, you deserve that. And the next one I would say is that we've always been humble in victory. Sure, we do the banter when we win, and we celebrate our wins properly and thoroughly. But there's a humility about us, because we know where we've been, we know where we come from, and we know that it's just around the corner that it could happen again. Younger fans don't remember. So, and it's all good. I'm not having a go at younger fans here. That's not the point of this. So, who are we as City fans? You can answer in the comments. Just jot down, what defines us. But I think I've got the 3 big ones right there. And I'd add loyalty to that. Some of you haven't had your loyalty tested because you've had a free ride on the glory train, and I love that. I think it's brilliant, but there's no free ride in football. Eventually you're going to face adversity, you're going to face a tougher time. Have you got what it takes? I think most of you have. I fucking hope so anyway. So, I've been going on now for ages. What's that last question? The last question is, should there be an ethical kind of code or guideline for influencers and fan channels? Do we need a code of ethics for them? Should there be a standard? That's the one I don't have an answer to. But sometimes I just think that there's a case to be made for that. Because I watched some of them going down the Goldbridge route of just being hyperbolically negative for the reaction. Because every reaction, positive or negative, is a click, and every click adds up to revenue. And some of them I just think aren't really taking responsibility for what they're saying, and they're just being emotional into their phone, whereas that's what we used to do with mates. So instead of, when we played badly, instead of picking your phone up and having a rant, go to the pub, talk to your mates, and then go home and think about it, and then you can rant into your phone, but it'll be better than what you're doing, walking away from a game crying. So yeah, that's the big question, I think. I'm not asking how we do it. I'm not asking how we would implement such a system. I'm just asking, should there be one? Should there be a moral guide, a code of ethics for influencers and content creators? Let me know. Thanks for putting up with me. I'm going to have a lovely brew now in my posh China mug, because I'm like that. I'm dead posh me. I'm from Denton. See ya.